appreciate that God is a person. He has his likes, dislikes, and he likes to, I think what they call in America, goof out sometimes. So they like to have these different pastimes there. So it's just where we appreciate the personality of Godhead. So Raghunath offered his obeisances at a distant place that Nityananda's servant pointed out. There is Raghunath Das offering you obeisances. Hearing this, Lord Nityananda Prabhu said, "You are a thief. Now you have come to see me. Come here. Come here. Today I shall punish you." The Lord called him, but Raghunath Das did not go near the Lord. Out of his humility, he wouldn't go approach the Lord. But then Lord forcibly caught him and placed his lotus feet on Raghunath Das' head. Lord Nityananda was by nature very merciful and funny. Being merciful, he spoke to Raghunath Das as follows. "You're just like a thief. Instead of coming near, you stay away at a distant place. Now that I have captured you, I shall punish you." So now he will find him. "Make a festival and feed all my associates yogurt and chip rice." Hearing this, Raghunath Das was greatly pleased. Raghunath Das immediately sent his own men to the village to purchase all kinds of eatables and bring them back. Raghunath Das put chip rice, yogurt, milk, sweetmeats, sugar, bananas, and other eatables and placed them all around. As soon as they heard that a festival was going to be held, all kinds of brahmanas and other gentlemen began to arrive. Thus there were innumerable people. Seeing the crowd increasing, Raghunath Das arranged to get more eatables from other villages. He also bought 200 to 400 large round earthen pots. He also obtained 5 or 7 especially large earthen pots. And in these pots, a brahmana began soaking chip rice for the satisfaction of Lord Nityananda. In one place, chip rice was soaked with hot milk in each of the large pots. Then half the rice was mixed with yogurt, sugar, and bananas. The other half was mixed with condensed milk and a special type of banana known as champakala. It's a very small, sweet banana. Then sugar, ghee, and camphor were added. After Nityananda Prabhu had changed his cloth for a new one, he sat on a raised platform. The Brahmana brought before him the 7 huge pots. On that platform, all the most important associates of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, as well as other important men, sat down in a circle around the Lord. Among them were Ramadas, Sundananda Gadadhar Das, Murari, Kamalakara, Sadashiva, and Purandara. Dhananjaya, Jagadish, Pamarisha Das, Mahesh, Gauri Das, and Hora Krishna were also there. Similarly, Udaran Thakur Das and many other associates of the Lord sat on a raised platform with Nityananda. No one could count them all. Hearing about the festival, all kinds of learned scholars, brahmanas, and priests went there. Lord Nityananda honored them and made them sit on the raised platform with him. Everyone was offered 2 earthen pots. In one was put chip rice with condensed milk, and the other chip rice with yogurt. All the people sat in groups around the platform. No one could count how many people there were. Each and every one of them was supplied 2 earthen pots, one of chip rice soaked in yogurt, and the other chip rice soaked in condensed milk. Some of the brahmanas, not having gotten a place on the platform, went to the bank of the Ganges with their 2 earthen pots and soaked their chip rice there. Others who could not get a place even on the bank of the Ganges got down into the water and began eating their 2 kinds of chip rice. Thus some sat on the platform, some at the base of the platform, and some on the bank of the Ganga. They were all supplied 2 pots each by the 20 men who distributed that food. If you go there today, even it's still like that, very crowded. If you get there late, you may have to sit in the Ganges because there's no space. At that time, Raghuva Pandit arrived there. Raghuva Pandit's house is there, right there. And Srila Prabhupada, when he went there, and he said we should acquire this property because it's right near the river Ganges there. So then we can bring our guests to Mayapur. They can come by boat. We can bring them from Calcutta and they can stop over here on the way to Mayapur. Let's see. Acharya speaks generally comes true in time. So that time, Raghava Pandit arrived there, seeing the situation, he began to laugh in great surprise. He bought many other kinds of foods, cooked in ghee, and offered to the Lord. This prasada he first placed before Lord Nityananda and then distributed among the devotees. Raghava Pandit said to Lord Nityananda, "For you, sir, I have already offered food to the deity, but you are engaged in a festival here, and so the food is lying there untouched." Lord Nityananda replied, "Let me eat all this food here during the day, and I shall eat at your home at night. I belong to a community of cowherd boys, and therefore I generally have many cowherd associates with me. I am happy when we eat together in a picnic like this, on the sandy bank of the river." Lord Nityananda made Raghava Pandit sit down and had 2 pots delivered to him also. There were 2 kinds of chip rice soaked in them. When the chip rice had been served to everyone, Lord Nityananda Prabhu in meditation brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived, Lord Nityananda Prabhu stood up. They then saw how the others were enjoying the chip rice with yogurt and condensed milk. From each and every pot, Lord Nityananda took 1 morsel of chip rice and pushed it into the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a joke. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also smiling, took a morsel of food and pushed it into the mouth of Nityananda and laughed as he made Nityananda eat it. In this way, Lord Nityananda was walking through the groups of eaters, and the Vaishnavas were standing there seeing the fun. And no one could understand what Nityananda Prabhu was doing as he walked about. Some, however, who were very fortunate could see Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also present. Can you imagine? By his meditation, he brings Lord Chaitanya there. Lord Chaitanya doesn't want to miss the fun also. And all the devotees are sitting down in a line. Just imagine we're sitting there in a line. And Lord Nitai Gauranga, being very happy seeing all the devotees eat, then they began to walk down. And Nityananda takes something off your plate and pushes it in the mouth of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya takes something from your plate, puts it in the mouth of Lord Gauranga. How merciful. But we only see Nityananda. We think, what's Nityananda doing? That's why he's arrogant. Nobody can understand what he's doing. He's living in another dimension sometimes. So you'll see Nityananda going down like this, and what are you doing? With a few rare souls, they actually see who's feeding Lord Chaitanya personally. But they couldn't see Lord Chaitanya taking food from their plate and pushing it in Lord Nityananda's mouth. If you were God, would you do that? You'd never do such a good job as being God as Krishna. Whatever he does is wonderful. But it proves that he's a person like us. He has his likes and dislikes and ways, and therefore you cannot question God, what God does. He's got a mind of his own. So we can't say why he does that. He's a person. He does what he likes to do. His business is enjoying. We'd do the same. If we were God, we'd do whatever we wanted. But this is what Krishna likes to do. If Krishna has nothing to do, then he's in Vrindavan with the cows. When there's no work to do, he's got his boyfriend's girlfriend, mother, father. So that's his supreme personality. When he doesn't have any work to do, he does what he wants to do. This is why we call Krishna that's been down Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead. And he's the same person, he has different personalities. Often a lot of the other personalities that we hear about, he has some work to do. The other incarnations, he has some to establish Dharma, knock out the demons, and perform different wonderful pastimes for the satisfaction of the devotees. Of course, that's why he does it. But in these incarnations of Krishna and Govinda and Lord Chaitanya, they're also doing exactly what they like to do. Very esoteric incarnation. So, Lord Nityananda ordered, all of you eat, chanting the holy names of Hari. Immediately the holy names of Hari, Hari resounded, filling the entire universe. Hari, Hari! Hari, Hari! Hari, Hari! When all the Vaishnavas were chanting the holy names, Hare Hare, and eating, they remembered how Krishna and Balaram ate with their companions, the cowherd boys, on the bank of the Jamuna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda are extremely merciful and liberal. It was Raghunath Das's good fortune that they accepted all these dealings. Who can understand the influence and mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu? He is so powerful that he induced Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come and eat chip rice on the bank of the Ganges. All the confidential devotees who were cowherd boys, headed by Sri Ramdas, were absorbed in ecstatic love. They thought the bank of the Ganges to be the bank of the Jamuna. When the shopkeepers of many other villages heard about the festival, they arrived there to sell chip rice, sweetmeats and bananas. As they came bringing all kinds of food, Raghunath Das purchased it all. He gave them the price for their goods and later fed them the very same food. Anyone who came to see these funny things, see how these funny things were going on, was also fed chip rice, yogurt and bananas. After Lord Nityananda Prabhu finished eating, he washed his hands and mouth and gave Raghunath Das the food remaining in the 4 pots. There was food remaining in the other 3 big pots of Lord Nityananda, and the Brahmana distributed it to all the devotees, giving a morsel to each. Then the Brahmana brought a flower garland and placed the garland on Nityananda's Prabhu's neck and smeared sandalwood pulp all over his body. When a servant brought betel nuts and offered them to Lord Nityananda, the Lord smiled and chewed them. With his own hands, Nityananda Prabhu distributed to all the devotees whatever flower garlands, sandalwood pulp, and betel nuts remained. How would you like to get a garland and betel nuts and let Lord Nityananda smear sandalwood all over your body? After receiving the remnants of food left by Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das, who was greatly happy, ate some and distributed the rest to his own associates. Thus I have described the pastimes of Lord Nityananda Prabhu in relation to the celebrated chip rice festival of chip rice and yogurt. Then it continues how Lord Nityananda went to the house of Raghuva Pandit, rested, took all the Mahaprasadam, and then they began dancing in great ecstasy, and Lord Chaitanya also came to see the dancing of Lord Nityananda. No one can properly describe the sweetness of Lord Nityananda's dancing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally came to see it. So this is the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because of those pastimes we have today, no panihai dam, where we can also engage in this festival of preparing chip rice. I hear we have many more preparations than the original, different varieties of preparations, which I'm talking about, just listing some of them, and different flavors from different parts of the world, different unique recipes that the devotees have been making their chip rice and yogurt. So we'll get to taste the great, if we're fortunate, to get to taste the great variety of Mahaprasad, which has been offered to Gauranga and Nityananda, and enjoy the festival in association with devotees. And remember these pastimes of the great festivals of love that were performed by Lord Chaitanya's associates 500 years ago. And so this is our great fortune, and that we hear. Prabhupada was so moved. I've only heard that tape once. I can't remember the exact words that Prabhupada said when he came and saw Gauranga here. Was anyone here at that time? Can you repeat what Srila Prabhupada said when he first saw the deities here, when he came in?
Not word for word.
What the last words?
Yeah. But it's the significant part is how he started out. He started saying, Parama Karuna, Prabhu who appeared 500 years ago in West Bengal. They are now standing right here. And the way Prabhupada said it, and the way the look in his eyes and the tenor of his voice, you knew that, he wasn't seeing, the bell metal deity form, he was seeing what you found. And gradually he began to speak about what Chaitanya's mission with Krishna had come to give, Krishna was demanding surrender. Savadana Jana. The Lord Chaitanya has come and he's just requesting please come take shelter. Anyone else remember something? That was basically the essence of it. It was very short because Prabhupada, as he was speaking, was becoming more and more emotional. And as you know, Prabhupada didn't really, make public display of his ecstasy. So his voice was becoming more and more choked up, and so he cut it short because he couldn't speak anymore. But that was the basic essence of what he was saying. But Lord Chaitanya is here right now on the altar, and he's begging you to please come take shelter.
So that's what we want. We want this level of Krishna consciousness that we can actually perceive the Lord directly there, not just not in the visual form of the Archa Vigraha, but actually feel the Lord's presence there. And this is possible for the devotees, even in our neophyte states. You can actually perceive the presence of the Lord by the Lord's masters. Prabhu mentioned that the Krishna is demanding surrender when he comes, but Lord Chaitanya is not come to demand surrender. He's just giving service. He's not considering who is qualified, who is unqualified. That is why he's Mahavadana. Otherwise, if one has to become qualified, then what is the meaning of Mahavadana? Because all the avatars are given a particular yuga dharma to purify us from the modes of nature, and then we can actually perceive the Lord. But in this age, this Kali Yuga, it's very difficult. The processes which are mentioned in the Vedas, Kama Jnana, Yoga, they're not possible in this age. It's too powerful, this age of Kali. So how are we going to get to that stage of purification? How are we going to control our minds? So understanding the predicament of the fallen souls in Kali Yuga, and of course for his own personal reasons, then the Lord appears to give a very simple product. It has to be the most simple because we're so fallen in this particular age. So he's not considering whether one is qualified or not. He's not considering when one is actually qualified to perform devotional service. Krishna says it takes many, many births. One who is purified in Bhagavad Gita, one who is free from all sinful reactions in previous lives and in this life, is sinless, then only he can take to my devotional service. But here we see, we actually engaged in devotional service. We have devotional service. So that is Lord Chaitanya, and that service is being accepted by Lord Chaitanya. Otherwise it said, Krishna Das Kaviraj, it says that one has to worship Lord Chaitanya, otherwise your worship of Radha Krishna is useless without going to Lord Chaitanya. In fact, it is demoniac to worship Radha Krishna. Without Lord Chaitanya, then in other words, it's a waste of time, because we have to come to the platform of Brahman. We have to come to the platform of spontaneous, loving devotional service to worship Radha Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya's there's no hope for that in Kali Yuga. There's no hope. How many people do we know have come to that stage of Bhava and Prema? How many people? Not so many. Not such an easy thing. But disregarding that, Lord Chaitanya he's so intoxicated, and his brother especially, that he's giving freely, which no other avatar gave. That is Krishna Prem. And nobody can understand that. The pastime of Lord Chaitanya is very esoteric. All these things, Krishna Das Kaviraj says that you can't even find these things mentioned in the Vedas. One section he's talking about the ecstatic symptoms of Lord Chaitanya. He said, you'll not find these in the Vedas. They're not there. Never was such a thing seen before. Because Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Samadhi Radharani, so he can feel these or he can show symptoms that are not ordinary not possible for an ordinary jiva. These symptoms of Mahabharata. They're very esoteric, and that is why Krishna Das said this is not mentioned in the Vedas. These things, it's unheard of. Such is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. It's unprecedented. Gauri Shakshi Jagahai Madhai, the song that, and he's so merciful. Jagai Madhai are the witnesses to the Lord's mercy, that in the previous incarnations the Lord kills the demons. In Kali Yuga he gives them love. Jagai Madhai was the last appearance of Jai Vijay. He mentioned three, but we understand this is the last appearance of Jai Vijay as demons, and they appeared as Jagai Madhai. Very, very simple persons, very simple. Jagai's qualification was that he stopped Madhai from hitting Nityananda for a second time. Nityananda's bleeding, and he's going to hit him again. So no, he's a sannyasi. He had a little compassion for a change come over him for some reason, because they were very, very simple persons, really, beyond the law. And he said, no, he's a sannyasi. You really don't hit him again. Because of that, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard that, you saved my Nitai, and embraced him, and gave him love of God, gave him his full mercy. He didn't do anything good. He never done anything good in his life for a long time, because they were born in Brahmana families. So then he finally, and then he was, by Lord Nityananda's mercy, Mahaprabhu was going to kill him, right? He came with his chakra, kill him. Nityananda's begging, no, give this one to me. I'll look after it. So Mahaprabhu said, because of your desire, he's already delivered. So then we know the story. Mahaprabhu actually delivered them and gave them, they're actually experiencing Krishna Prema. So this is unprecedented. The demigods also came there that time. The demigods come when the Lord incarnates. When he's fighting with Varaha, all the demigods are watching, and there's anxiety when the club falls. And so when Krishna kills different demons, you see the demigods, they come to watch. Then they shower the flowers at the end. Jai, Jai, Jai. You're reading Krishna book, those stories. They were seeing the deliverance of Jagamata. They couldn't believe it. They've never seen such a thing before, because they know what the Lord, the Lord, how he appears and he kills the demons, gets rid of them. But here he's doing the complete opposite. He's given the thing that Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are anxious after. They don't even get that. They couldn't believe it. They're pulling their hair out, they're banging their heads on the aeroplanes, and they're crying. What's going on there? They can't understand this merciful aspect of the Supreme Personality of God. When they left, they saw Yamaraj wasn't with them. They came back, he's lying unconscious in his chariot. Because Yamaraj, he knows just what kind of punishment these people deserve. That's his job. And he knew of the immense amount of sinful activities that they had. So when he saw that, he just, it was too much for him. So this is Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Very difficult to understand in person, but they see him, especially Lord Nityananda, he just seems to be having a good time wherever he goes. He does whatever he wants. Often he's in his mood of a cowherd boy, like here, they take on that when they get into that mood. Then he's in the mood of a cowherd boy. Sometimes very young boy, Lord Chaitanya says, Nityananda, you've got to behave yourself. He said, what are you talking about? I'm a perfect gentleman. He said, you know, just behave yourself the way you talk, you know, take your clothes off in public and, you know. Me? I would never do such a thing. When you're in the house with these respectable people, you suddenly start dancing and drama people. No, I said, no, I'm hungry. Not in Nanda, I'm trying to speak to you. Let's go to the waiter's house. It's in Nanda. So this is conversations. Have a look. Unpredictable. It's like a little kid, right? You can't have an intelligent conversation with him. But sometimes it's like that. So they're just engaged in these pastimes of enjoyment. So when Mahaprabhu was sending back to Bengal to preach, then this was his preaching. Chanting, dancing, enacting Krishna's pastimes, they used to enact Krishna's pastimes. All the local boys came one day and were and they was engaging with these young boys, because they were in the mood of young boys. So the village kids came, and they're playing and playing all day, and the kids aren't eating, they're not tired, and their parents are thinking, where's my boy? Where's my little boy? He's not coming home for... So they go and see them, and when they come into that atmosphere of the Nityananda and his associates and those boys, it's just like they're walking into Vrindavan, and they become completely mesmerized, and they don't realize, and then they go back home again. And in the morning, hey, my son hasn't come home yet. Like this, like for 1 month, the kids aren't eating and sleeping and they're just playing, but every time the parents go there, they're just you know, stepping into the Vrindavan atmosphere and forget all about it. So by Yoga Maya covers them. This is how Nityananda used to preach. Just by his just by performing these wonderful pastimes, just having a good time. Just so attractive that people spontaneously caught up. And Lord Chaitanya was also so attractive, Lord Chaitanya, that you know, the other incarnations of Krishna, of course, they're incredibly attractive. But then there's always that choice, because Krishna always gives us a choice. It says the choice of the jiva, or the independence of the jiva, and the mercy of the Lord leads to. So Krishna is waiting for us to turn to Him, right? As you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. So Krishna puts the ball in our court. It's us that have to make a step towards Krishna. It's us that have to develop affection towards Krishna, because that's what actually He's looking for. What can we offer to Krishna? But if there's affection there, that bhava is there, then this is what He actually wants. This is the real substance that Krishna is looking for, is that emotion. That emotional feeling that we have towards Him. That's the most important thing, and all the rest of the activities of pastimes, they're just a medium for experiencing these exchanges of rasa. But it's up to Krishna. Doesn't force anyone. He doesn't force you, because he does those pastimes enacted in the ambience of love. So if that love is there, affection is not there, then it won't work. So therefore that affection is definitely required. That is why some people say, why, if God is, you know, so merciful, why does He allow us to suffer? Why doesn't He come and just deliver us? Well, why does He create the material world in the first place? If He wanted to, He could shake Atlanta, and when the buildings are tottering and the road is shaking and we hear a voice, Haribol, and there He is, Mahavishnu. Now do you believe me? Now do you believe that I exist? I say, yeah, okay, we'll do whatever you want. You know, okay, God exists, then we have to serve Him. Damn it. So, unless there's actual affection, then you don't really want to serve Him. So Krishna doesn't force. You've got to develop that. You know, you've got to develop that attraction for Him, so that you actually want to serve Him. He doesn't want you to serve Him out of just because you have to, just out of duty. So this is what we're trying to develop in our stage of sadhana bhakti. We're doing it by force, by rule we have to accept because there's not spontaneous attraction. Then we have to put ourselves in a situation that is most favorable, which is given by acharyas, and that is the process of sadhana bhakti. As Krishna says, that this is the best thing to do. Always think of me, engage your mind in me, etc. If you can't do that, then engage in the regulative principles of devotional service. That means Vaidhi sadhana as far as we're concerned. So that is why we have to push ourselves. We have to follow the rules, and the rules are to help us. Not that rules aren't supposed to be an inconvenience. The rules are for our benefit. They're meant to shape us and push us and guide us and keep us until there's nothing left but Krishna. That's what the purpose of the rules and regulations. So we can't go left and right eventually. So they shouldn't be seen as an inconvenience or troublesome. One should happily accept these things as the best way to open the layers of coverings that are covering our spontaneous attraction for the Lord, and then we can actually approach the Lord. But Lord Chaitanya is different. He forcibly attracts the senses, even of the non-believers, just by seeing him when in his sankirtan, he's dancing, and his beautiful personality, everything about him, he forcibly attracts all the senses. So therefore he's able to deliver so many people, even unwillingly. When he's having the sankirtan to the Chankasa's house, it's the first public, first disobedience movement 500 years before Mahatma Gandhi. It's a very wonderful story. With the sankirtan they were having down to the Chankasa's palace. And everyone was completely mesmerized when Lord Chaitanya came through the streets, and they just followed him. So then all the thieves thought, wow, this is a great opportunity. The people who haven't locked their doors, they've just gone. We'll have a field day, we get a big bag. But then the curtain was gradually getting to him. Well, who is that? Who's that Lord Chaitanya? And they would gradually just overpower them, and they joined in the curtain also and lost themselves and began to dance in great ecstasy, crying with great love of Krishna. So like that, he's actually forcing. He's actually forcing himself upon us. Of course, we not so fortunate to have been around at that time, 500 years ago. I mean, some of you were, I don't know, but most of us weren't. But still, we have that. We understand that he's not looking for he's not considering qualification, and that is why he's different from the other avatars. He's not considering qualification. Practically speaking, nobody can become qualified in Kali Yuga to that extent. Very, very difficult. Very difficult to control the mind. That means motivated. Very difficult. So he's not considering whether they're qualified or not. And also he's begging his devotees to help him. He's begging us to help him. I'm one man. How can I distribute all these fruits? I've got so many fruits that I've got and taken, but then nobody's willing to take it. Even I'm giving a fraction of the price. Qualification is faith. You know how to lose land. So you please help me, I'm one man. You please help. I need your help. Krishna doesn't need anyone's help when he comes. He's self-sufficient, complete, enjoying his. But Mahaprabhu is not. He's coming as a devotee. He's coming as an ordinary person. I need your help. Those orders. I order every man in the universe to take Krishna conscious, become Krishna conscious, and give to others. This wonderful thing. So, and we see by his pastimes that these aren't exaggerations. What we hear about the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya are not exaggerations, because it's actually showing that by his different pastimes. In the pastime of when in Srivas Thakur's house, he told Srivas, you don't work. You maintain your family. How is it? You don't work. How do you do it? So then he gave he clapped his hand, right? I got this I got my philosophy 1, 2, 3. So Mahaprabhu said, what are you talking about? 1, 2, 3. He said, if I have to fast 3 days in a row, he said, then I will put myself in the Ganges. Mahaprabhu embraced it. No, don't think like that. Don't talk like that. Even Lakshmi Devi leaves me, your house will never know any pestilence. There'll always be plenty of stuff in your house. Even Lakshmi Devi leaves me. Even the servants in your house, they will get my mercy. Even the animals in your house, even the pets, they will get my mercy. So these puffed up Bhattacharya strategies in Navadvip, these puffed up Brahmins who are envious of Vishnu and the devotees, they will never get my mercy. But even the pets in your house, they must have they must be doing something there, otherwise why would you keep them? Even they will get my mercy. Because they have some connection with you. They're doing some service for you. And also, remember, there was one Muslim walking on the street, past Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu revealed his form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He became ecstatic, he was dancing and crying, I have seen, I have seen, I have seen. What was his qualification? He was a tailor of the Srivas Thakur's household. He wasn't following Sanatana Dharma. He was doing all kinds of things we would think are very detrimental. But simply because he did a little service, then Mahaprabhu gave him complete mercy. And this is the saving grace in Kali Yuga. We have this connection that we're so fortunate we come into connection with the Mahaprabhu through his parampara. And we've done some service to his devotees. That's enough, that's sufficient. Eh? If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you don't have to worry about the future. You don't have to worry whether you're going back to Godhead or not. No, you're definitely going. Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita is a different story. But if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, then you know you'll... So you don't have to worry about your future. As long as if you've done some service and you're sincere, why wouldn't you go back? And we've seen a lot of examples of devotees leaving their bodies, and it seems in quite a few cases that they actually went back to Godhead. Kaviraj, left the other day, he was chanting Hare Krishna up till the last. Krishna says, whatever you remember at the time of death, that state you will attain. But even if you don't remember Krishna, he'll remember you. If you've done a little service as devotee. So this is the bottom line in our philosophy is to please the devotee, right? We want the mercy of the Lord, we want the pleasure of the Lord. And we get that, and the Lord gives that through his devotees. Kripa Shakti is the property of his devotees. They actually give it. Krishna invests his devotees with it, because when he's here, he can give it personally, directly, as we have seen. But when he's not here, then he makes that the property of his devotees, and they distribute it. So if we manage to please the devotee, then that's our success. So we shouldn't worry about our future. That's already taken care of. We can just... Now we have to do something while we're flapping around in these bodies for a few minutes or whatever. Then we have to do something. So what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu want? You tell them, wherever you are, whether you're sannyasi, grihastha, wherever you meet, tell them about Krishna. Whatever we know, we can say that much. That's a very wonderful thing, and that will be really appreciated by the devotees and really appreciated by Lord Chaitanya. And then he'll remember you. Because after all, in this world, this universe, there's only a few. The human beings are very, very less quantity out of all the living entities. And out of the human species, how many are civilized? And out of civilized people, how many are religious? And out of the religious people, how many people actually want to know God, to go back to Godhead? Practically speaking, it's a handful in comparison with all the living entities. It's a handful. So don't think it won't be because we haven't attained these high these cities like Nishta, Shakti, ruchi, bhava, that you won't be able to go back to Godhead. But in your next birth, you'll take birth in the Vrindavan, in the universe where Krishna is appearing. And that will be the finish. That means we'll be born in the family of gopis and gopas. And that will be the finishing school for us, for the first devotees of Radha Krishna. And that will be, you'll get everything there. Huh? From your very birth. Because Krishna says that you can't take birth in a family of devotees unless you perform devotional service in your previous birth, or unless you're very, very advanced on the yoga ladder, right? Otherwise you're born in a family of rich mercantile people. But very fortunate, those who are born in a family of devotees, that means they're advanced in the last life. But our children, they're not ordinary people. Huh? They were very advanced souls. But you can't take birth in the family of devotees. You haven't performed devotional service before. And so they get the opportunity to, from the very birth. So then the final birth will be in that Bhuma Vrindavan where Krishna's appearing. Then you're actually born, Krishna's actually present on that place. So that is the description. I can't remember what that description is. That is, girl is born, so everyone loves Krishna in Vrindavan. So then you're growing up in that atmosphere, so you're accustomed to loving Krishna from your very birth. And as a young girl, then one time Krishna's coming past this way, and everyone rushes up, all the ladies, they rush up to the roof of the house. And this girl rushes behind him and says, don't come. Because once you heard about Krishna, you heard about everything about him, once you see him, you'll be finished. So better you don't come up. But she goes up anyway. So you get everything will be, that is the last stop, that is the finishing school for us. So our business here is just to tell other people to engage in the process of devotional service ourselves and to try to share it with other people, that's all. Don't worry about these perfections. Don't worry about getting these perfections. You'll be lucky if you get it in this lifetime. I mean, who's got it? Practically speaking. Only a few rare souls. But the beauty is that you don't have to. This Mahaprabhu is not looking for qualification. So this is the wonderful, this is why he's Mahavadana. Otherwise, if we have to qualify ourselves, what is the meaning of Mahavadana? Because all the other avatars are given a process of purification to get you out of the material modes and into Suddha Sattva. So if you have to, if the process is to do that, then why is he Mahavadana? He's doing like, but no, he's not looking. He's not. He knows you can't in Kali Yuga. We're the bottom of the barrel. If we had any substance, we would have been out in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, but we're still sitting here. We're the end of the line. So what hope for us? We didn't get out before. How are we going to get out in Kali Yuga? So therefore, out of his, the esoteric reason why he appears, and he's come to taste the love that his devotees feel for him, and he's tasting that because he's the greatest actor, and he's so intoxicated in that mood that he's just not. This is so nice. Everyone should take it. Everyone should take it. It's so nice. Please take it. He's not discriminating who's fit and who's not. Please take it. Please take it. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, he's very strict in his own dealings, in his public dealings. As a boy, he was very naughty, but as a grihastha, he's very strict, and as a sannyasi, he's also very, very strict. Follow the rules of the time, the society. So we should follow in his footsteps, follow the rules very strictly, because we have to live in this world. We have to have some style of living. So we have to have some culture to follow in this world. So we should be strictly following that. First culture is a varnashram. You can't improve on that. That is the basis. It's the best basis if you want to be satisfied and happy in this world. The best way to do it is that, because that's given by Krishna. You can't improve on that. But in any case, as close as we can get to it, that will be to our benefit and for the peace of the world also, as close as we come to that. But in any case, whatever happens, we'll engage in the Shabam, Kirtan, Smaran, Archana, Mandana, etc. We engage in these 9 devotional poses of devotion service, and based around the chanting of Hare Krishna, associating with devotees, and coming together on special occasions like this where we can hear about the wonderful pastimes of the Lord and reenact those pastimes in one sense is what we're doing here. We're reenacting the pastimes of Sri Panihai. And this is our lifestyle. Whatever you do, we're trying to do Krishna, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These things are not going to stop, most of us. So you're going to do the same thing anyway. And now we just do it the way Krishna wants us to do it. That's all. Nothing stops, nothing changes. Except now we're doing it the way Krishna wants to do it, instead of the way that we think it maybe should be done. This is called passion. It's very nice to passion actually. This is for our benefit. The culture is for our benefit. We follow that. Then that's the most peaceful and happy you can be in this world if you actually follow the closest you can follow this culture given by Krishna. For peaceful living or peaceful running of society. When society is peaceful, then it's much easier. It's easier to practice spiritual life, obviously. So we'll do that. We'll, as far as possible, we'll follow the outline as given by the Srila Prabhupada and the Acharya. Associate with devotees, take Mahaprasad, and give that association to others, give prasad to others. And this is the actual success in life. There's nothing more than this. There's nothing more than sitting in, for us, there's nothing better than sitting in Atlanta and New Panihati and hearing the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya on this particular day. Then after that, taking the darshan of Sri Donitaya, Lord Jana. Nothing better we can be doing. When chanting their glories, nothing better we can do. When taking prasadam, nothing better we could do at that particular time. And then engage in all the activities during the day. Of course, it's a special festival day, so we can 24 hours a day directly engage in these very essential services of the Lord. We don't have to go to work to maintain our devotional life. Today is a special day that we can do direct service, whole day, engage all of our senses. This is a gift that Srila Prabhupada has brought to Atlanta and the rest of the world to just out of his love, out of his compassion for us to elevate us to the spiritual platform. So when we do this, this is the Brahman platform which everyone's talking about. This is a platform this is a spiritual platform. These activities, this consciousness, this is a spiritual platform. This is a Brahman platform, even though we don't feel it. It's not karma. We're simply trying to assimilate and follow in the footsteps of under the guidance of the different acharyas. So when we're doing that, this is the actual platform of freedom from karma. This is a liberated platform. So we should be satisfied that whatever we're doing in Krishna consciousness is the best thing we should be doing right now, as long as we're doing it with the proper authority. We're taking advice from the Lord when we do something. Oh, we know exactly what we know what to do, instead of taking to learn. And we just continue our life like this, at the end of life. And let the others continue. Let the new generation continue. Let the new generation continue. And all those that take part, they're fortunate. And all those that don't take part, they're unfortunate. So we should try to make the unfortunate fortunate by extending the Krishna consciousness to everyone. This will really please Lord Chaitanya and the Prabhupada and our masters. very much. Jana ki jai, Das Goswami ki jai, Shriday Mahosabha ki jai, Jai Gautam Nandi.
Prabhu ki
Jai.
Please, you should be sitting here. I'm very.
No, I just remember what Prabhu said about Prabhupada.
Yeah, take this one.
Hare Krishna. That's okay, that's okay. Hare Krishna. I can speak louder, no problem. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, when you said about fortunate, those who follow this path are fortunate, it reminds me of Prabhupada visited before coming actually to Atlanta the same year, the months before, he visited South America, Venezuela, Caracas. And Prabhupada also, he was having darshan of Gormitai. The other son was face to face with them. And he also wanted to sing that song, Paramakaruna, Prabhu mentioned. And Prabhupada tried to sing the song, but as soon as he said the first two words, Paramo Karuna, his voice shocked, he couldn't sing anymore. And he laid his head back on the Vyasa, and we could see tears, stream of tears coming from his eyes. And the room was filled up, like 200 people. And it was very silent, everybody was like struck with wonder, looking at Prabhupada. And that went for a while, and after a while Prabhupada slowly came back to external consciousness. Very unusual that Prabhupada would show, like you said, his spiritual emotion publicly, very rare. That was for one of the few occasions. And Prabhupada, he said, Paramo Karuna, so merciful. If Lord Chaitanya would have come like Krishna to kill the demons, practically speaking, nobody will be left in Kali Yuga. But Lord Chaitanya came to kill the evil spirit that's inside of it. Prabhupada said that in this Kali Yuga, the evil spirit and the godly spirit is in everybody's body. It means the mentality, the demoniac mentality and the devotee mentality is in everybody's, So Lord Chaitanya came to kill the evil mentality of people by this process of Harinam Sankirtan, this chanting of the holy name. So Prabhupada said, now you are very fortunate, you must make fortunate others too. He told us very clearly, he wanted us to go out and preach.
So they did that. They did that. They heard what Prabhupada said. They did it, and because of that, I'm saved. I'm here. You're all here. We didn't get that instruction. Someone else got it. They followed, and as a result, we're all here.
Another thing that Nityananda Prabhu called Raghunath Das Goswami thief, because he was trying to go to Lord Chaitanya without getting first his blessing. So that's why he called him thief. You're staying away from me. You don't come nearby me. So out of his kindness and mercy, he engaged him in the service. He do some service to him. And only when he pleased Lord Nityananda and he got his blessings, only then he could escape from home and join Lord Chaitanya and Jana. Before he tried many times, he couldn't make it. Only after. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu is the Adi Guru, the original Guru. Unless we get mercy of Guru, we can't get mercy of Krishna.
You pass the mic back.
Yes.
I'll speak loud. So, in light of what Maharaj was just saying, Maharaj was just saying that Sri Kirti Prabhu, who was traveling with Prabhupada at the time, was telling me a few years ago in my book that because before he came to Atlanta, he had the route was Mexico, Dallas, Mexico, Caracas, as Maharaj was just saying, and then as Prabhupada would say, Miami. And then here, and Sri Kirti was saying that there was a progression, an evolution in Prabhupada's mood as he was going to these different places, because he was meditating on this festival in Mayapur in 1975, which there had been other Gopani festivals in Mayapur previously, but this one was like going to be it was the largest today, and was open to anyone who could come, and many devotees were coming. In the past, it was more just like for the leaders of the society. And Prabhupada was meditating on, Sri Kirti was saying that Prabhupada was meditating on the mercy of Lord Nityananda, and he was seeing, he was just meditating on this festival in Mayapur, and he was traveling, and he was seeing these deities that were being, of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, now being installed in the West. Because previously, in the earlier days of ISKCON, there wasn't, we didn't have one-entire deities for the most part. Like right up here on the wall, that Panchatattva was our deity. That same painting right there was the deity. As a matter of fact, what's her name? Ananga Manjari, who was telling me that she used to, I sort of remember this, she used to like take a damp cloth and wipe the damp cloth on Lord Chaitanya, Lord's feet, and then squeeze that, and that's how we get our charm. And I've forgotten that. But, but there had been a few places there were these paper mache deities, and there had been some accidents in Buffalo and somewhere else on the West Coast where they had burned up. And the Prabhupada had said no more of these paper mache deities. So then now gradually, boys were starting to get these deities out from India, and I believe that these Gaunitai deities were the first to come from the Navadvip area to the west. So, and Prabhupada was meditating on this mood, according to Sri Kirtan. He said we could gradually see Prabhupada's mood and these ecstasies developing, meditating on the mercy of Lord Nityananda, and seeing how Lord Nityananda's mercy is expanding. And he said that in land with all these devotees here, then with Radha Damodar, it kind of came to full fruition. Of course, in Mayapur itself, that year also, it blossomed even further. So I just wanted to make that point that was Prabhupada's meditation, and it's confirmed here by Maharaj that Prabhupada was meditating Karma Karuna, in the rocks, which was just a couple of days, a couple of weeks before he came here. So, and we got that sort of insight from Sri Kirti.
Especially at that time, because before Srila Prabhupada came, nobody knew anything in the West, practically speaking. And so he was actually experiencing that mercy of Lord Nityananda. He was going crackers. There was Panchatattva there, and he was going to this place, and he's coming to here. Gradually was building out. He was actually seeing that all over the world that people were chanting Gaunitai, and he says he spread it. Prabhupada spread it, and no one else is. Of course, he can actually experiencing that, because he said, I'm simply trying to execute the orders of my spiritual master, and it's only that the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, but he could actually see that mercy manifesting in lots of devotees and deities, temples of Gaunitai, and he could actually see it. Now it's already there, but at that time it wasn't there. So I think any of us who was in the same position as Prabhupada would, you'll be feeling great ecstasy also. You're actually feeling that mercy. You're just going out and talking about Lord Chaitanya's mercy and Lord Nityananda's mercy and trying to, and then all of these things just start to manifest. How can one man do that? So you can actually appreciate that this. You are actually experiencing this is the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Otherwise, how can? You remember the prayer Boston Harbor. How can these people are so fallen, so much passion in them. How will they hear this message? Please, I'm praying to you, Krishna. Then he actually saw it manifest, so it's not surprising he was feeling very ecstasy. Oh, he couldn't control that great ecstasy.
May I make an announcement about telephones? Because later on we'll have other Maharaj's class or Maharaj's class. And as far as my knowledge, my limited experience with Prabhupada, he didn't even have telephones in his quarters. So now we have telephones, we're so advanced, we have telephones in our pockets. And there's no temple, you see in the temple here, there's no telephone. So in the class, maybe the telephone can be in your pocket, you can turn it on. Or leave it outside. Just asking them who request.
Jai Goswami Prabhu, you can enlighten us.
We
Enlighten
have
us.
in Baltimore, Nitai Gaur Sundar.
Can you give the mic?
Give the mic.
Okay, this one better.
In Baltimore, we have Nitai Gaur Sundar.
Yes.
So, Baltimore temple is known as New Kulina Gramdam. In 1976, there was a bicentennial year for this country. So, July 4th, Prabhupada was in Washington DC, which is only 40 miles away from Baltimore. So, our devotees used to worship like Panchatattva, and then they got the beautiful Nitai Gaur Sundar deity. So they took a picture and went to Washington to show it to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, "Where are these deities? I want to go now." He says, "Prabhupada is only in Baltimore." So he was attracted so much, he wanted to go right away. But what happened that his secretary said, "We have important meeting." So he said, "All right, we'll go tomorrow." So on the 7th of July, 1976, he came to Baltimore. And our deities are most beautiful deities in the whole world. Thank you very much.
Prabhupada said that.
But Prabhupada also said that I've been to Galapagos, I've been to Miami, now I'm here, and I see that you are the best.
You're both right. Wherever you go, we will see Gonachai the best. That's a wonderful movement, man. Everything is the best. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it's the best thing you can do. It was like the tree made of sugar candy. Wherever you take it, sweet. You take a piece of bark or leaf or figs, it's all sweet. Devotional service is like that. Absolutely. This is turning into the afternoons program of Prabhupada Kata. I suppose the videos aren't ready for you. No, we saw they before. Any questions? Any other comments?
Maharaj, from what you tell me, says go to every, excuse me, go to every person and actually tell them about Krishna. I mean, are we doing that, Maharaj?
Are we doing it? Are you doing it?
Yeah, everywhere I go, I mean, I do tell it doesn't matter where I'm at. It's just, but it's one of
Everywhere you go, you can tell people about Krishna.
it's only to do to the how I was trained, Maharaj. But are we all actually doing that? You know, are we fulfilling?
Unfortunately, we could all do a lot better and a lot more. I don't think anyone here is saying they're doing as much as they can, they're reaching out as much as they can. I don't think anyone here will say that.
I'm not saying, Maharaj, it's just the mercy of the devotees that I can do anything at all, that I can even appreciate anything at all.
Yeah,
I just wondered if we-
by hearing you speaking, we become enlightened to reach out a little more.
You really want that though, because tomorrow we may die, so we should speak of Krishna and tell everybody about Krishna.
Yeah, the person that passes you on the street, life and death is in your hands. And this is how you should feel. And you should feel this is my last day. If you want to advance spiritually, Chanika Pandit says, you should feel that this is my last day. My last opportunity. If you want to live forever, if you want to enjoy in this material world, think that you're never going to die. But if you want to advance spiritually, think this is my last day. If it's your last day today, you're gonna be really serious when you chant your rounds. You're gonna be really concerned with other people that they haven't got Krishna consciousness. Certainly you're not gonna stand around talking nonsense or politics. Definitely not. It's your last day. It's your last chance to become Krishna conscious. It's your last chance to give other people Krishna consciousness. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? If we don't do it, who else is doing it in this world? Given this access back to Godhead. It's only through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's only through the Gaudiya Vaishnavas you will do it. You go back to Godhead in this life, practically speaking. Obviously there'll be some exceptions, but practically speaking, it's only through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you can actually get, because you can't purify yourself in Kali Yuga. What method are you going to use to purify yourself? There's these other religious processes, they're not powerful enough. This is a Yuga Dharma. So you should think that their life is in our hands. And if we let them go past, we're committing violence. This is how we should actually feel. That people have to have Krishna consciousness. Because the Krishna consciousness is not a question of choice. It's a matter of necessity. It's not a question of choice. Oh, that's for you. That's your path. It's not a question of choice. It's a matter of necessity. They have to go to a Lord Chaitanya. It's the only one. We should accept that, believe that, practice that, and give it to others. We can just endeavor to try, and that's all we can do. Like Prabhupada, just endeavor, and the impossible became a reality. And the result of that, one man, as a result of that, we're all sitting here. I'm like, what would we do? It wasn't just Prabhupada endeavor to do that, so. Personally, I have no qualification. But he had the potency, because he had the potency of the whole parampara and Lord Chaitanya, because he accepted, he was sincerely following the order of his spiritual master. And we have that same order. We have that same order. That's the outline. No one will argue with that. And Lord Chaitanya's ordered every man in the universe, man, woman in the universe, to take Krishna consciousness. Take as much as you want, eat as much as you like, it's fruits, enjoy it, take as much as you want, and give to others. So that is our mission. We shall make a commitment that we'll endeavour more for this, to reach out to others. Don't think it won't make a difference if you just do one little thing, one word, one something to somebody else. Don't think it will make a difference to their lives, it will. And it's in your hands. I said the Lord's Kripa Shakti becomes the possession of his pure devotees. And the pure devotees have asked us to assist them. So if we do that, we have their potency. It's theirs that we're not doing it, we're handing them their potency. What do we know about spiritual life? Only what we've heard. But we're handing them their potency. What can we do something? I was there, we'll go with your 30 minutes preaching to give them a book, let Prabhupada preach to them. But whatever you do, it's worthwhile, it's something. Don't think it won't go. If somebody takes Chanamrita, they'll get love of God in one lifetime or another from Krishna. Someone takes Mahaprasad, it won't be lost, it'll manifest, something has to happen later on. A little thing will change people's lives. And there's so many stories is going about these miracles that happen. So many. So don't think that I'm useless or I'm not worthy. When I control my senses, I become. Don't wait for that. Krishna consciousness is the means now. Krishna consciousness is not something in the future. This is the spiritual platform. Shravana, Kirtan, Vishnu Smana, etc. This is the platform of liberation. It's not something in the future. It's right now. And if we stay in this situation, then we'll get that will purify us. Then we actually start to get that experience. Because Krishna consciousness is an experience. It's a feeling. We want to feel Krishna. That's what we want. We want to feel that. We want something tangible. So therefore Krishna gives sometimes. He gives it bhava, even though we're on the stage of ananda and Vicky maybe. Sometimes Krishna opens a curtain, right? You actually experience bhava, right? You all know. Even in the very beginning, in the curtain, body shaking or tears that come to the eyes. Something. And this is what they're talking about. This is what we're reading about. Because if you don't get that little taste, then you won't continue. How do you continue? Whole life. On faith, on determination, does it matter of duty? No, unless you actually get some taste, this is what you want. It's an experience. Krishna consciousness is an experience. Life is an experience. Spiritual world is just experience. Experience different waves of levels of emotion in the Krishna's pastimes. That's what they're about. The pastime is a form, just a form is a medium to experience these different emotions or rasas. So if we don't get it, we'll not continue. So if everyone gets it, in the new bhakta, they get it. Not much. You don't get it long enough. But nobody can deny they don't get it. So then that becomes a reality. What you're hearing about is a reality. You've experienced it. So it's that experience that counts, and that's what we want. And so if you experience that, then it's a reality. That is a reality to live in that experience. But we're just getting, because we don't have the adhikar, it'll be just a little glimpse of the spiritual world. But when one advances more, when one gets these perfections, Shakti, Ruchi, these are perfections. And these are gifts. Revelation, realization. Revelation means someone's giving. It's a gift. Everything is a gift. The whole thing is mercy. Because we don't actually have the adhikar. But if you get that, then you can actually, when you don't actually, you don't only see the deity, feel the deity. Within the heart. So that's the experience that we're really looking for. That's what we want. Full nectar for which we're always anxious, we're hankering after that. That's what it is. It's Krishna consciousness. So in the beginning you do it as a matter of duty, then that actual duty, that service becomes a pleasure itself. And so you're getting pleasure from that service, you're getting satisfaction. This is the best thing I can do. You become peaceful, happy to do it. By doing this you become purified. So then later on you get the happiness is directly from the heart, and it's Krishna conscious. This constant thing. So that's what we want. But if you don't get it, don't worry. We still go back to Godhead. It doesn't mean to say you have to have those things. But if you get them, you're lucky. If you get those things, you're very lucky, fortunate. But you can't. There's no way to demand that at all. It's a gift. If it's my birthday today and you've got a present for me behind your back and I see it, right? I know it's for me because you're my best friend. But I can't say give me my present. Right? Even though I know it's for me, you've got it for me, I can't say you have to wait till you give it. So like that. It says Krishna consciousness is a birthright. Your birthright, one who engages in devotion service of the Lord. Then that Krishna consciousness of this liberation becomes his birthright. He simply has to wait for it. He gives that example in that purple. The qualification of the son to receive the inheritance of the father is just that he has to stay alive longer than the father. It's going to come to him automatically. So it'll come to us. But anyway, we're only here for 25 minutes fluffing around. Then it's all finished. So don't be too anxious in this life. You've got to get some perfection in this life, or you've got to achieve something in this lifetime. It's very short. If you do, you're fortunate. But if you don't, you're also fortunate. You'll go back to God. So don't worry about this. You worry about other people's happiness, other people's salvation. You shouldn't worry about the future. You understand your little service to a pure devotee, or a devotee of a pure devotee, or a devotee of a devotee of a pure devotee, your Mahaprabhu will note that, and he won't forget. And against all odds. In the material world, it's difficult. Every atom is against us. Every atom. Swimming upstream. How long can you swim upstream for? Not easy. Especially us. Prabhupada said, for the Westerners, it's like trying to wash coal. Trying to clean coal. But he did it. Prabhupada did it. Clean coal.
Prabhupada's purpose of that, the second part of that is that if you put enough pressure on coal, with the heat and the pressure, it becomes
So let him, let's get that pressure. But don't worry about becoming a diamond. Don't worry about making us a diamond. We don't worry about that. We worry about giving other people the gems. Somebody say something?
I'd like to thank you for coming tonight.
My great pleasure to be here.
This is our first trip to North America, and by seeking his persuasion and financing, Jana's mercy, he's come here to this festival to assist us, and I feel very fortunate that I'm in your association. And thank you very much for coming.
You have to say Siki Mahita, he's the one that actually got me here. Finally.
Pankajami Prabhu is a wonderful ambassador for Mayapur Dham, and it doesn't hurt to remind everybody, as Gokul Ranjana said, that 75 was one of the first big years the festival took place, but Prabhupada wanted that we all go there once a year to become revitalized, re-spiritualized, enthused in our spiritual life. And if the desire is there within the heart, because it's the order of the spiritual master, you don't have to worry funds or accommodation. Somehow or other, if you really, really want to go, the Lord can make all arrangements, and associating with such wonderful devotees in Mayapur Dham, it's life-changing, certainly worth shooting for. Thank you very much.
He created it here, that's why they're not coming. Panihai Dham is here. No, the dhams are special. Anyway, Krishna consciousness doesn't depend on geographical location. Yeah, we hear a lot. I used to anyway. I hear a lot of problems because I'm the Shingadas Pujara. Kali, everyone has a problem. So he's really popular. So I get about 3 emails a day. But it doesn't depend on. There's no material obstacle to practice Krishna consciousness. It doesn't depend on that. You can practice anytime, any circumstance. No, our only example is of the devotees in the USSR. Persecuted, tortured. So even the dire, they didn't, you can remember, at least you can remember Krishna. Even if someone ties you up and gags you, you can still remember Krishna. So there's no material, don't think that when I get free from this material imposition, then I'll be free to serve Krishna. Don't think that when I control my senses, I should take time out, control my senses, then I can come back and freely serve Krishna. So that will never happen. Whatever you are, whatever situation, whatever thing you can do now, do that. Don't think I should, I find that I go to another temple, a better place, I go to the Holy Dam, I have the right association with my favorite deities, and the service I like to do. This is a dream. It doesn't happen in the material world. You don't get all that. You don't get the right place, the right association, the right service, and you're dreaming. Not for long anyway. You won't get it. It doesn't happen. So don't think like that. Now is that you've got an opportunity to serve Krishna right now, to be Krishna conscious right now. Now is the only time. Yeah, now is the only time. We don't know the future. House is finished. So we're hearing, chanting, remembering, serving. Whatever we do, this is the time to do it. And so there's no actually impediment to become Krishna conscious. You can't blame anyone or anything. How can you? How can you? So don't think, I get my act cleaned up, I get my situation nice, then I can serve Krishna peacefully. Don't think like that. That won't happen. It won't happen. Start now, whatever you are. Mahaprabhu is not looking for qualification. Why you should worry about being qualified? Mahaprabhu doesn't mind. You got a crazy mind? Are they serving a crazy mind? Accept the service. You're crazy, half crazy, serving. Take it. He's not seeing me half crazy. I see it, but he doesn't. His mind, half crazy people are serving me. They're perfect. Anyone who serves him is perfect. Whatever you are, whatever you have, materially speaking, it's different.
There's one example, Prabhupada, one boy was writing about, I took that over here. Prabhupada gave the example of, he said, if a typewriter has a broken key in New York, and you move it to Los Angeles, it will still have a broken key.
Broken key.
Yeah, broken key.
Okay. That's it.
Broken key.
Yeah.
So you just stay with, just by moving from one place to the other, whatever the problem is, it's not going to, external movement is necessarily changed. Unless somehow the Krishna can do it.
Yeah. When you go, you move. It's the same mind that's going with you. So it doesn't make any difference. It's still the same mind you're living with.
प्रभु जी